All right, mic check, I'm good. So I'm Max Ceron, Max Ceron, CWB Association Welding Podcast, podcast. Today we have a really cool guest, Welding Podcast.
The show is about to begin.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the CWB Association podcast. My name is Max Ceron and I'm with you guys again today to have another fantastic show. Finally, my first show back since FabTech, which was a wild week of excitement. And one of the fantastic people that I met down at FabTech on the show today, we got David Madero. David, how are you doing, man?
I am great. Hola from Mexico. I'm down here in Mexico.
So let's start right there, man. Where are you in Mexico?
Oh man, it's crazy. I'm about 5 hours from the Texas border, and it's about 5 hours from what is it? Del Rio. And we're basically in the desert, man. There's like not much down here. It's beautiful and everything, but it's just desert life, man. And right now, I've got like 2 fans on me going. And back here, I've got the whole AC system because, man, it is hot down here. But I love it. It's where all my family's from. All my friends live here. So yeah, we'll get into it in a little bit, and I'll tell you like my whole backstory. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, right now I live in Mexico. I work in Mexico, and I go back and forth. I also go back and forth from Dallas, Texas. Okay. So I'm between here and Dallas, Texas.
And I'm sure, and I'm going to ask you, it's going to come up because it's a question I get asked all the time. People are like, oh, hey, you were born in another country. I'm from Chile, right? We can talk in Spanish, and we're planning on doing a Spanish-speaking show just for the listeners. Tune in. I'm actually booking a whole. See, I actually got like 2 or 3 Spanish people lined up.
Yes, I love that, man. I love it. Yeah, I'm the kind of the same as you. I was originally born in El Paso, Texas, and El Paso is it is Texas, but it's basically Mexico also.
It's like Mexico light.
It's Mexico light, exactly, man. And I was born there, and I did all of my elementary and I graduated from high school, so that's why I can speak English kind of sort of well. Yeah. And then I moved back to Mexico to live with my family, and I've been here ever since. And you know what I'm talking about here, Max, because I'm gonna tell you guys something. It is weird for us because we have kind of 2 switches, right? Exactly. We have like Latino switch, and then we have to go into like English switch, right? So it's a Spanish English, and I don't know if it happens to you, but it's crazy because I'll be talking in English, and I'm like, oh, dude, what's that word? And then I'll blurt it out in Spanish. But the thing is, a person has doesn't speak any Spanish at all, and it happens vice versa also. So I'm basically Mr. Spanglish over here.
So at FabTech, you met my assistant Daniela that was down there, and she doesn't speak any Spanish, right? Yeah, she's awesome. And my other assistant that normally would come with me, she does my sales. Nadia, she does speak Spanish. So when I flip into Spanish, sometimes I don't have to worry about who's around me because I don't even notice sometimes. Like I'll just be like, I'm just talking in my language. And then I was talking, I think, to you at one point, and then another time, the VP of marketing and sales for Hypertherm, Anibal Sepulveda, he's from Chile. And I was talking to him in Spanish, and I said something to him, and then I turned to Danielle, and I was like, right? And she's like, what do you mean, right? I don't know. I haven't understood anything you said.
It's crazy because we kind of look at like Italians, and we're like, hey, we should be able to communicate and stuff, right? But it's hard. They're kind of like our people, right? But they just speak a different language. It's a little similar.
And we all love pizza, so
Exactly, man. Mexicans, Canadians, Americans, we all love it.
All right, so I'm curious. You were born in El Paso. Were you a Spanish-speaking household? Like your mom and dad, they spoke Spanish at home, or did you speak English at home? As a kid coming up in
Yeah.
the U.S.
Oh man, yeah. My mom, she would, I would get the chancla. You know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
yeah,
Like the chancla when I were that boomerang sandal that Mexican moms know how to throw. Nah, she's gonna hate me. She's gonna yell at me when she hears this if she does.
you're gonna get the chancla for saying
But
something about the chancla.
exactly. And so I at home it was straight up just Spanish, and then when I went to school it was English, and it's really I loved it, man, because it's really interesting when you get to have two cultures in your life, and it's like half your day is in Spanish and half your day is in English, and you're really getting like for instance, I would get all those the colorful the foods and the just the Mexican way of life at home, and then outside with my friends, and I would get that whole American vibe, and it's just that perfect mixture that really did something for me, man. It's one of the things that I love about my life is being able to be in touch with both cultures, man.
Yeah, and it's important because it's not everyone makes the effort, man. Not everyone makes the effort. Some people, and for their own reasons, and everyone does their own thing. But some people walk away from one. I have lots of friends that we came to Canada, and we're a little bit further away from Latin community, so like it's not as much Spanish speaking around me. But some people my age, we came together to Canada at the same time. They don't speak any Spanish. It's like gone. You know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that does happen a lot, and as long as they don't try to completely hide the fact that they're Latin, I'm okay with it, because if you don't speak Spanish, that's okay, man. It's but hey, I mean,
Your
you
roots.
can't just your roots. Just really try to dig deep into your roots, and I mean, everybody does this.
Hmm.
Speaking of the Italians, I mean, a lot of them don't speak Italian, but they still have that
The
that vibe, that
dingamakoo, the hey,
feeling.
the hey.
Oh my goodness, yeah, totally. And then it's all good, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no big deal if people don't speak Spanish to me, and but yeah, I was lucky because my parents were straight up orgullosos de ser mexicanos. They were
Mm.
proud to be I mean, they are proud to be Mexican, and so that was like big deal at my home, and we would do all the celebrations. 16 de septiembre, which just passed. Oh my
Hmm.
goodness, man, that was a big ass party. I'm
Man, my
sure.
hotel
Oh,
was
you.
right on the strip. My hotel was right there. Like the parties were right in front of my front door. And at first I was like, "Oh man, I'm trying to go to sleep." But then the Latino kicked in, and I was like, "No, man, I got to go down and party."
Uh, yeah, man. When I was in Chicago during FabTech, and I
Hmm.
saw like all the Mexicans on the street with their flags, I thought, holy shit. I'm sorry. Can I cuss?
Yeah, yeah, you can swear. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was like, man, I can't believe. I mean, Mexicans are freaking everywhere, dude. I'm sure they're freaking Canada like crazy too, huh?
Hmm. So my ex-wife is actually Mexican. She's from Cuernavaca.
Mm. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hot blooded, huh? You don't want to mess. You don't want to
I, I,
mess with
I
our
did
With
say
our Mex.
I did say ex-wife.
Oh, ex. Like, damn it, I didn't hear. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
All right. So we got little baby David coming up, right? And he's in El Paso, and you know you guys liked it, didn't like it, because like I mean something happened there that you ended up back in Mexico. Not everyone goes back to Mexico, right? Not everyone goes back home. So No, something went down. Was it money? Was it jobs? Was it time to move on? Did you
Yeah,
go alone?
it
What was going
was. Yeah, let me. I'll jump into kind of what happened to me, and also this will bleed into my artistic life, and it'll bleed into everything. My father, my father was this amazing metal sculptor, and not just metal. I mean, he was a welder sculptor. I mean, straight up a pioneer in this stuff. He started welding together sculptures back in the 1950s, Max. I mean, this is something that was unheard of back in the day. And he got his oxyacetylene setup from a friend of his that had this like mechanic shop, and he saw that my dad had all this artistic talent. So he's like, you know what, man, why don't you try, do this? There's metal, and you don't really have to go the route that most sculptors go, which is doing your piece in clay or in wax and then sending it to an art foundry and getting it, doing the lost wax, bronzing and this and that. Go ahead and do it yourself, man, because my dad didn't have money, and he couldn't do any of this. So he's like, yeah, man, let's just straight up do the sculpture and forget about that expensive process of, of,
on?
of having to find a foundry and all that. So he started welding with oxyacetylene. Man, I mean, back then, there wasn't much, MIG and TIG and this and that, but he did all of these crazy, beautiful, amazing works of art in oxyacetylene. And so my father, while we were in El Paso, he started to get all of these jobs in Mexico, and he did a whole bunch of these big eagles on fighting against the serpent on top of the
Mm-hmm.
cactus, and that's big time Mexican symbol, right?
It's like
That's
a
on
coat
the
of arms.
Mexican flag. Yeah, it's our coat of arms over here. So he did a whole bunch of those, and then he started doing a lot more monumental work in Mexico. And he's like, guys, listen, I love El Paso. We have friends and everything, but damn, I can't be paying, two rents and having you guys over there and me over here. And he missed us, so we we came down to where my father was born, which was great, which is in Torreon, Coahuila, which is the place that I told you that was 5 hours from the border, the
Mm-hmm.
Texas border. And yeah, man, here it's just different. It's the best place to work. My father, you know, back with friends and cousins and aunts and uncle. I mean, it was just the most amazing thing that could happen to us. And we after a while, my father, he kept doing all of these amazing works of art. And rest in peace. He sadly passed away about 8 years ago. And yeah, ever since then, he and I would share the workshop together. And now, I'm by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have a team here helping me and everything. But oh man, it kills me, dude. It really, it's hard for me
So,
not
what
having my
was it
dad.
like? What was it like as a kid having an art dad? I mean, that's not normal, right? Art as a job is not really considered a mainstream thing. It's not like you get told as a kid, like, hey, you're gonna grow up and be an artist. That's not really something that gets pushed. But you and your family, it seems like you had art around you your whole life, which is very unique because I grew up with a welder dad. So I grew up with welding around me and I became a welder. So I'm second generation. I've have steel running through my veins since I was born. But you have art running through your veins since you were born. What was that like in your community, even as a kid, being like, yeah, my dad's a metal sculptor? Like, people, what would people say about that?
it was just like second nature for me. It wasn't like a big deal. It was just, my dad, he welds and he does sculptures, and it was just day in and day out, and and that's probably, Max, my dad was probably my greatest teacher in what I do. But I have to be real honest with you, Max. He never actually showed me how to do anything. He didn't actually like instruct me. And he did this on purpose, Max, which was
let
freaking
you
amazing.
find your own method,
Yeah, at the time, man, I was extremely pissed off because I'm like, Dad, come on, come over here, show me how to hold the torch, show me how to move that bead along, and how to put in the feeder metal. Just show me these things. And he's like, no. And I thought he was evil. I'm like, damn, you old man, he's not wanting to show me anything. But later in life, of course, I'm like, wow. And it's exactly what I needed. So Max, I basically started welding when I was like 5 or 6 years old. So when you ask me what was it like living in a metal sculptor's house as a father, my dad, I would just see my dad doing all these crazy, amazing, like highly textured things. And Max, I guess, instead of me playing with doing the Play-Doh, I ended up doing the welding, right? And I just I just got hooked. I really got hooked with all of that. And but like I said, he didn't really teach me how to sculpt. But come on, Max. I mean, I'm around my father the whole day. Summertime. In Christmas vacation, I'm at the shop with him. Oh, by the way, sometimes it was the garage, right? Because sometimes we didn't have money. So it was straight up like most of the time it was a lot of my dad working at the garage. So it was right at home. So I would, go into the garage and I would see my dad, and lost my train of thought.
But like in your house, what about your mom? Was your mom artistic too, or was she out there doing her work, or or brothers and sisters? Like, I'm just envisioning this house where everyone's just doing all this art, and it's kind of blowing my mind. Or who's the engineer, or who's the person that came out and the business manager, or like.
Oh, Max, you're not gonna believe this, compadre. Compadre, this is gonna freak you out a little bit. My mom, she's wonderful. She's she's very expressive. She's still alive, and I still see her every day. I go, of course, man. I'm a Mexican son. I have to go see my mom every day, and she's great. She's I tell everybody that the artwork, the artistic side I got from my father. I got that DNA I got from my father, but that I don't know, that crazy expressive, like, oh, you should see my mom. If you think I like move my hands around a lot, you should see my mom. I mean, she could tell you a whole story with her facial gestures, man. That's all she needs. So I got a little bit of that from my mom, and but check this out, Max. My older brother, a biologist, a freaking doctor. I mean, he's got two. I mean, he was first a biologist, and then later in life, he's like, I want to be a doctor now. So now he's a freaking doctor. My other brother, he's an engineer, and he's got like 2 or 3 engineering
Degrees. Yeah.
What do they call it? Yeah, degrees. And then that crazy ass guy got his MBA, and then he got his finance master's, and this, and I'm like, dude, where did you guys come from? I mean, what? And at first I was kind of pissed off because my brothers are all like heady and intellectual and super smart and this and that, and they know all about business and medicine and all these kind of things, and I'm like, hi guys, I'm the artist.
Yeah,
Hello.
I like to draw.
Just kind of, yeah, I'm like, I like doodling in high school, which, by the way, I barely freaking graduated, Max. Barely graduated from high school. So I'm definitely like the black sheep of the family, man.
Oh man, I doubt that. I doubt that. Everyone expresses their self in a different way, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Mm.
And you
And
know
so,
what?
so my,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No. Go ahead.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say, you got this amazing fabric of your family now. Like you obviously have different personalities in the house. You say your heady brothers. You got the biologist, you got the engineer, you got your mom who loves to be expresses herself and her emotions in a variety of ways. I'd imagine all of that works its way into your art because that's your family. You know what I mean? Like that technical aspect of your brothers must be represented in there somehow.
You know what really goes in and into my artwork from my family? It's the OCD, Max. Holy shit. That OCD is something that we all have, man. And it's just I obsess over sculptures, just the same way that maybe my older brothers obsess over work. I do the same thing with my sculptures, and sometimes I overthink things, and
Hmm.
especially being in the artistic world, because sometimes you have to let the emotions come through instead of all that you know mental energy about it's a little hard to explain, Max. It's
Yeah.
something that my father really did have. He really didn't think about things. He just did, right?
Yeah, like
He
people
just,
say people say don't get in your own way.
yeah, man, yeah. And I've noticed that sometimes I end up doing that a whole bunch, but then I start thinking about my dad. I'll start getting kind of OCD about stuff, but then I'm like, but my dad, he's just so free with his hands, and you know, he would do abstract one day, and the very next day he'll do something figurative, and then the third day he'll do something a little bit more impressionistic, more maybe even conceptual, and I sometimes forget that, and it really is all about just having as much fun as you can with your work. And sometimes I forget to have fun, Max.
Hmm. It
It's
happens to
it's
everybody. It
it's
happens to everybody.
yeah.
So, okay, now we're back in Mexico. We're following the timeline. We're back in Mexico. Your dad's brought the family home. You're a teenager at this point. You said you had just finished high school because you graduated in El Paso. So you're like late teens, maybe early 20s. You know,
Yeah.
I hear you talk about art and you're using terms, you're using there's some art education there. So what was your path coming out of high school? Like what were you doing for a living? Were you thinking I'm going to do art now, or were you like working at the grocery store, or were you changing tires? What were you doing then?
Yeah, something kind of, I don't know, man. My 20s, I was just, I was a basic up in my 20s. I was just stupid. I could have stuck around with my dad. I could have kept working with him and kept, you know, uh, having that future in art, right?
Hmm.
But it happens to the best of us sometimes, where
Hmm.
you just kind of want to rebel against your parents, right? And I've said this before, but if both your parents are lawyers, you might end up being a doctor, or I don't know. It's just sometimes, like, people like me, we just rebel against our parents for absolutely no good reason, Max. It just I just did not want to kind of be in my father's shadow, and when you're a teenager, when you're 18, 19, 20, sometimes you start arguing a lot with your parents. You
Hmm.
start and I got into a few pretty big fights with my father. So I left home, and all my 20s I left home, and just basically just, working as a bartender, waiting tables, the door guy. I mean, just basically just
Doing
doing
whatever.
stupid stuff when, maybe I could have, at least stuck around with my dad, or gone to maybe like a community college and gotten an art degree, or hell, Max, I could have gotten I could have been like a tradesman where I could have really found out about welding and maybe gotten my certification and could really tell people, hey guys, I'm a metal sculptor, but I'm also a welder. I'm also a cast welder, which is something I'll never be able to do. And I'll touch on that point later.
Well, and I wouldn't say never. I wouldn't say never. As a, we have very similar stories, man. Like I moved out young. I had to rebel. My parents were very good people and they did their best, but I had this seed in me where I just needed to know that I could do things on my own. And then if I screwed up, I screwed it up myself and I could do it, but like on my own. Right. So the lucky thing that I did is that I was already welding. I started welding in high school. So no matter how much no matter how much I screwed up, I still had this job that paid me pretty good money. You know what I mean? So I could go party. I could go travel. I could be stupid. I could crash my car. I could do whatever, but I could still go to work on Monday and get a pretty decent, paycheck at the end of the week. And that saved my ass so many times because then I ended up having a kid really young, right? And then then things get complicated, right? And I think about that all the time, being like, if I would have been a little bit more straight in my youth, would I have succeeded more? And I don't think it works like that. I don't think life works like that. We all have our own path, right? And sometimes the hard path you take is what you needed, right? It built up the strengths that you needed to get to where you are now. Because look at your job now. That's not very normal. My job now, it's not very normal, but it just ended up being this way. If you would have told me when I was 18 that I was going to be doing this now, I would have been like, yeah, shut up, cállate, no sabes nada. Like I would have not known. Like,
claro que sí. Yeah. And Max, that's great, man. That I love sharing these things with people, man, because we're basically all the same, man. I mean, it's great. I just wanted to give you props for this conversation. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. And you and I, next time we're together, we're gonna get some Jack Daniels. Well,
100%.
we're gonna have to
100%.
and so Max, what happened is during my 20s, I did all this stuff that not so smart, but I was sketching all the time. I was thinking about sculpture all the time. I just had all these really, man, I would be like cleaning the bar top and I would have all these ideas of sculptures that I could make one day. And for years and years, and then I would go back home and that like bar hours are terrible, right? So, I was like 3 or 4 in the morning and I'm sketching at home, right? And I had all of this pent up energy that was just inside, like, man, I was becoming this like monster of just artistic pent up energy inside of me. And when, I don't know, maybe I think I was like 28 or around there, I got back together with my dad. We started talking again, and when you're in your late 20s, not to say that you're like the most mature mofo on the world, but you've kind of lived through.
You get better.
You've kind of lived through life. Yeah, you get better, and then also thinking about, man, why am I pissed at my dad, really?
Yep.
And so we had that talk, and he said, you know what, son, I've always wanted this for you. You have all of this creative talent and energy, and it's been really sad for me to see that you haven't really explored your art side. You know, you haven't really explored it. And he told me, son, you know, you could draw, you could paint if you want. You don't have to do what I do. And that really hit me, right? I'm like, I remember it was like a smack in the head when he told me that. And I'm like, oh man, shit, I don't want to paint. I don't want to do any of that other stuff. I want to weld. It's something that I was doing when I was 5 freaking years old, and I missed it. And I said, you know what, Dad? You know, I, of course, all the apologies in the world, and it's like, son, come back. We'll start working together. You'll help me with my sculptures. I'll let you do your own sculptures. So I went back home to Torreon, and it was cathartic, man. It was just like wow, man, I finally found my place in life. But it took me 30 freaking years, you know? And man, if anybody out there is you know, can, I don't know, if there are any 30-year-olds, or no, I'm sorry, if there are any 23, 24, 25-year-olds kind of going through this, oh man, I hope I can help somebody out to say, guys, don't waste your time, please. You know, I'm 45 right now, and I wasted a long ass time on nothing, man, on nothing. So you know, hopefully I can get through to a few people, a few youngsters. I'm old, so I'm 45. I can finally say youngsters for the first time in my life.
And you know what? I would say from just my experience and knowing you and just our short conversations, I would say that those 20s that you say you wasted, they weren't a waste, right? This is part of the being that you are, right? It's like if you have a glass of water, you know, is an ice cube a waste or not? Is the empty space a waste or not? There's no such thing as waste in life, right? Like it's just maybe not what you would look at as optimal use as an old man. Like I'm the same age as you, you know, we're looking back and being like, I could have done that better. But regrets don't do nothing for nobody, right?
And yeah, I appreciate that. No, seriously, man. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And you know, we always, especially like OCD types like me, we're always like, oh, why this? And we're all obsessed with stuff. And you're right, man. But it was like I said, it was just like a rebirth for me, man. It was
Like
a
the
rebirth
Phoenix.
for me. And yeah, like I had stopped welding for you know, at least 7 or 8 years. I had stopped welding, and to go back to my father's shop, like the first day, Max, the first day, I could smell that grind dust,
Yeah.
the steel. Oh man, that first whiff of acetylene.
Yeah.
You know,
Qué rico.
when I turned, oh, qué bárbaro, hermano. And just that after working that whole day with my father, going back and just sleeping just 10 hours, just boom, the moment I hit the bed, I just fell right to sleep. But I was proud of myself, and that pride in my work was just something that I mean, you know, money is great, and you know, like fame and all that shit is great and stuff, but man, that going to sleep, like going to bed at night and really feeling good about what you did during the day is great. And that's something that's kind of why I've had this like real good connection with tradespeople. The you know, just craftsmen, and I can, we have this synergy, and I love them because they're the same type of people. Like metal artists are the same in this way, because we have that pride, and we're building something and we make something. And I honestly think that this is like it has to do with something with evolutionary biology and it has to be that thing that we have in our brain that if we're not hunting, if we're not working, if we're not, running and getting our food or, building our own houses or stuff like that, it's biology, man. It's like it's in our DNA from like a millennia, right? And and it's crazy that these things make us happy. But who would have thought hard work makes you happy? If you just have like all the if you have all the money in the world and your dad just gave you like this trust fund, oh, there's no freaking way you're happy unless you're working. It's okay. I don't care about trust fund babies and kids and this and that, but if you're not working, dude, come on, don't lie to me. You might be in your fucking Lamborghini and you got your mansion, but you ain't happy, mofo. So.
I heard a saying, and I'm full of sayings because my education's in philosophy, so I got all these sayings. But success is going to bed tired. Simple rule: go to bed tired.
Yes.
Right? Doesn't matter what you're doing, but if you want to be successful, you go to bed tired. Right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fist bump, brother. Fist bump.
All right, so we're going to take a little break for commercial sponsors. He'll be back after about 30 seconds from the sponsors, so make sure you guys don't go anywhere. Stay tuned with the CWB Association podcast here with David Madero, and make sure that you come back because we're going to be gone for a short period of time. And we're back here at the CWB Association podcast. My name is Max Ceron, and I'm here with David Madero. He ran off the screen, but he thought it was a real commercial break, but it's actually just an editing break. So he's getting himself another drink. Oh man, I hope you're drinking something fun.
Oh, I wish Diet Coke. My wife's got me on a diet. God damn it.
All right, so on the first half of the show, we were talking about your life kind of leading up to now. And then you started getting back into your sculptures in your early 30s with your dad. Your dad's still around. You guys now got a little bit of a back and forth relationship. So now talk to us now about this new beginning, the phoenix rising from the ashes. The eagle coming out of the desert, which is David of this art world.
Man, I'm gonna have to hire you to promote my. Damn.
A lot of people
that
do.
Was great. well, yeah. It's so I started to feel real good about myself, and all that pride and work, and little by little, I would help my dad with monumental work, and then he would have his side of the workshop, and I would have my side of the workshop. And I started selling, and I'm like, whoa, look at this. I started making money with my metal sculptures, and then of course, with working with my dad, we at the beginning I was I was his apprentice, not kind of.
Yeah.
I was my father's apprentice because I'm not gonna lie to you. I was the guy sweeping and doing this and that, tack welds for him, and
it's part of the skill.
But it took me a while. Yeah. So little by little I started selling, and then when I really started to get in touch with the welding community, because for the longest time, Max, I was pretty much only doing oxyacetylene and little stick work. And I remember my dad had this old green machine. Let's see if you remember these bad boys. L Tech. Maybe somebody out there remembers L Tech. There were these.
Did they have the big handle on the top?
Almost, man, like basically, and just like this ugly camouflage green, just like green painted, and we had that big, but it was a terrible mix. It would always stick. Like the wire wouldn't come through right, and the gas. I mean, we always had problems with it. And the moment I started getting like I would, that was when internet was, you could see more videos and this and that.
See more technology and newer equipment's out there, right?
Yeah. And so, I was just used to oxyacetylene and stick. And then I'm like, man, this LTEC sucks, but look at these new ass machines that there are. There's these things. Another thing, Max, I didn't even know that machine was called MIG. I didn't know it was a MIG machine. I just thought of it as the thing that you grab and you press this thing over here and the wire comes out and then the other thing, and then there's like I think it has a gas, but I'm not sure what. I mean, really, I was just completely ignorant when it came to welding, and so for one monumental piece, this was maybe about 13 years ago, maybe. We needed some real high tech and industrial welding machines. And we started to look into MIG and that was when I first got my first Miller machine, my first Miller MIG, and oh man, it was beautiful. We actually we got two machines for that sculpture, and then we got a TIG, an ESOP TIG machine, and I was like, whoa. I mean, I was used to oxyacetylene. Oxyacetylene is cool because, it's old school. You can kind of forge the sculpture out. You can weld and you could cut, which is kind of cool because you can do all three things with one torch. But, the acetylene was crazy freaking expensive, and then I saw these other machines where it's just it's super slow, and the warping and the heat transferring all over. But that's cool and all in art, right? In art, who cares? It's I like to call it just artistic welding, right? It's not, I'm not doing what you guys are doing. There's no way in hell, but it's just artistic welding. That's kind of like that's my go-to. When people ask me, hey, what's your talent? I'm like, hey, I'm an artistic welder, And so I started playing around with these new machines, and I started posting things online. Like, hey, look, I'm using this, Miller machine, this Miller Matic 252, and then I'm using this other machine, and companies started to approach me. I'm like, what the hell? Like, little by little, they started approaching me, and I made some really great friends and relationships with these major freaking companies. And so I was able to even do more and experiment. That's my whole thing in life, Max, is seeing how I can fuck these machines up, man. I'm just straight up I put it the all the way high up on one, and then down low on the other, and then I'll dip the tungsten when I'm TIGging, and I don't care, whatever. If it's not, if you don't have the sharp point, I'll just keep doing these pieces. It's all about those crazy ass welds that I love doing. Oh, I have to mention this. I'm sure many of you out there, especially in the welding community, you all follow Hammered Dog Shit on Instagram. I don't know if you follow them. They just show like the most terrible welds in the world. Like they'll show like gym equipment with like terrible freaking welds and this and that. Well, I look at that and I'm like, dude, that's beautiful.
I can use that.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like porn for me, man. It's like what? That's like true weld porn for me. And so basically, I'm just using all of this technology to do artistic things with this technology. And it's the great irony in life, right? Because I'm using these freaking machines that can do warehouse structures and bridges, and I'm not doing any of that. I'm just figuring out like trippy, crazy, surreal type welds. You know, sometimes I'll MIG a little, and then I'll do some TIG, and then you know what? Fuck it, I'll put some stick on top of that weld, and then I'm just trying to search and look for these different finishes and different. Max, I'm basically all about the welding textures.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, man. It's me, and you know, I highly respect what real welders do because, damn, you know, being in this world, I'm I'm like I'm like the horrible welder over here, and then I'm seeing all these kick-ass welders, and what you guys do is insane, Max. It is insane. I don't know if because I don't know if I'm like shaky or what happens, but what you guys do is freaking beautiful, man.
Well,
It really is.
it's a different sector, right? And it's a different way of approaching the same trade. Like, I mean, me and Jason Becker from Arc Junkies, we had that weld off there at FabTech, and we both have
Yes,
very different
yes.
backgrounds, right? So he kicked my ass, and it's funny because there is a backstory there where Jason has been known for being this amazing welder for most of his career. He's a phenomenal welder. I have not been known for being a phenomenal welder. I'm like the business welder guy. I come into companies and help them like I have a mind for business and streamlining operations and setting up businesses and companies. And I've worked for all these industries, helping them, figure out how to maximize their output. I think about that. I came up in this industry. I'm a good enough welder. But when we did this this welding competition, Jason took his hour and he took his art and he made it just beautiful. And it went online and everyone voted for it because it was so much prettier than mine. But you know what? I got mine done in half the time. And if you're looking to make money, I'm the guy because I'll get twice as many of them done, right? But not as pretty. So,
well, at least you're in that league, man. I tell all the. I mean, I love Jason. I love Sean from Dabs Wellington.
yeah, Dab,
Stephanie Hoff. I mean, all these freaking kick-ass
amazing.
welder.
Yeah.
And I keep telling them, guys, we should do something funny. I mean, where I don't know, something on whatever YouTube or do where you guys try to teach the worst welder in the world to weld. Like just teach me how to do a straight freaking bead, man. That's all. And I think it would be.
I got a
I think it would
shop
be
in
funny, man.
Canada. I got a shop in Canada and a camera crew at my disposal. If you guys want to come up here, I'll set that up.
Holy shit, man! We got to do it. And then I tried to fuck Jason up, right? And Jason's all like, ooh, perfect, and X-rays and this and that. And then I'm like, okay, dude, what I need you to do is unlearn everything you've ever learned in your life.
I would love to be a part of that, man, because I have like zero art in me. People come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're a welder." Yeah, I'm a welder. Okay, so how people talk to you about being a welder, you got to be like, "No, I'm an artistic welding." For when people come up to me and say, "Oh, you're a welder," I got to explain, I'm an industrial welder. So I'm a different type of welder. I do heavy industry, I do shops, I do companies. You want me to make you a kitchen table, man, it's going to be like a square. Like,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I don't got the mind for
Yeah,
art, but
but if
I
you
would love for you to try to teach me.
Oh man, that's speaking about passions and this and that. Like Max, one of the biggest passions in my life is I love what I do. I love doing metal sculptures, but what I fucking love doing is teaching other people how to do what I do. And I've had the greatest luck in life where, you know, I've been to Japan, to Italy, to Kazakhstan, to the U.S. I've been all over the world teaching people how to do artistic welding, and I do these workshops. I do these workshops that are sometimes, excuse me, they're sometimes about a week long. Other times they're like a long weekend long. No, did I say that right? 7 days and like 4 days. Yeah. And I do these workshops, and everybody at these workshops has to finish their own sculpture, and I help them through the process. I help them not be afraid, because that is like the one thing that I've noticed when I teach these workshops is that the biggest constraint for people is always that fear, like, oh man, what if I don't know, I'm doing this horse, but what if the legs don't turn out right? What if like they're not all the right length? And I keep telling them, don't be scared of that beforehand. I mean, try it. And if it doesn't happen, you know,
See what happens.
if you got like a little limpy, if you got a limpy horse, you know, fuck it. You know, it's a sculpture. It's art. Who tells you that something is wrong in art? Nobody. And it's, you know, art. Just do it. But basically these workshops, they're something that I freaking love doing, man. And I really, whenever I do these interviews, it's one of the things that I have to tell people out there. Please get in touch with me. Please. I do this for my soul, man. It really it feeds my soul to do this. And to watch, like after I give these workshops, to watch this, to see the students' faces when they're finished, to see that, the happiness, the pride in their work. Oh man, it is there's no money in the freaking world, Max. It is the best feeling I've ever had. And so anybody out there listening, freaking invite me. I'll do it, man. You know, I got to charge a little bit, but you know, I can do stuff for free. but come on, guys. This is, yeah.
We're all helping each other.
Just throwing that out. Yeah, man.
So this actually leads me to a point that I've been meaning to ask you, because I find it very interesting, and we're gonna go there because I didn't really want to spend too much time on it. But you guys got your Netflix show, Metal Shop Masters. It's on Netflix. It's doing awesome. I don't need to promote that. That's its own beast. You guys killed it. It's great. Everyone watch it. Okay, but I will ask you about the judging. How does a person who teaches art, promotes art, okay, you got the wonky horse, you're good. Let your expression come out, you're good. And then someone says, okay, here's 6 artists, pick a winner. That's got to be tough, because like industry wise, I can say, hey, this is a 16th of an inch out, do it again. You're wrong. But how do you judge art, you know?
It was probably one of the roughest things I've ever had to do in my life. Good thing I had Stephanie Hoffman right there beside me, man. Otherwise, we would have just been a wreck. I love that girl. She's the best. Before I get into that, you know, Stephanie, highly talented. You know, one of the best, you know, welders in the world. And then you have me, which is, you know, more, you know, on the artistic side and you know, messing around with welding. So we had this great, like, contrasting opinions to what people were doing on the show, right? Because if it was up to me, oh man,
everybody
first,
wins.
you know, I would. Everybody, come on, guys. we'll just split up that 50,000. Not 7 ways, 8 ways, because I'm getting a piece. I'm just joking. um, but yeah, it was good to have Stephanie there because when you do these type of shows, it is uh, it is the hardest thing, Max. It was like if I had to choose one over the other, it most of the time it was by a freaking hair, Max. I'm not joking with you, man. Like a hair. Like, man, it's it could have gone either way, but just a hair more on this side, and
Yeah.
it sucks. It sucks. But it's gonna. What I tell you is gonna sound super cliched, and I don't care. I really don't care. But what I truly believe, that show made 7 winners, not 6 losers. It
Mhm.
made 7 winners. They each of them got to show their huge mega talent on TV. Each of them got to show their artwork. How, because they're so freaking different, all of them.
All of
And
them,
it was probably one of it was the hardest experience of my life because of the judging part, but it was the absolute best experience of my life because I got to see 7 kick artists do stuff live right in front of me, man. And I got to see all the emotions. I got to see all that, the stress and the
Anxiety.
sweat and all the anxiety, man, that each and every one of them had, and how they were all able to do these just gorgeous, elaborate things in 10 hours, Max. Come on, man. And, people out there, people out there who say that, no, there's no way they could have done that in that amount of time. Screw you. You don't know what you're talking about, man. They, the time that we gave them at the beginning, that was the actual time that they had. And not only that, like when we say on the show, we're giving them 10 hours to do this, it was even less than that, Max. And I'll tell you why. Every 45 minutes, every hour and a half, they would go to their work area, grab them, and say, come with us. They would put them into a room because they had to interview them and they had
Interview.
to
Yeah.
ask them questions. And then they would have to go back. So think about it. You're stressing out. You have all these cameras in front of you, all these lights, and then all of a sudden you have to stop what you're doing, go and talk to somebody, and then come back. And not only can you not just focus back on your sculpture, on your metal art, you also have people asking you questions while you're doing this. Oh, and not only that, but you see all these other metal artists all around you, so you can kind of, at the corner of your eye, you can see, holy, that girl or that guy, dude, am I going to be able to compete with that? And so it was highly stressful for these guys and girls. I said girls, I'm sorry. These guys and women. It was super highly stressful for them, and I just have, like, not just a high amount of respect for these artists, but Stephanie and I, we truly, truly fell in love with them.
Mhm.
No joke, Max. I mean, we fell in love with each and every one of these competitors. They were, oh man, and we still talk to them. We freaking love them all. They're first of all, it was great not seeing the typical reality show where, she's backstabbing him, he's
Yeah.
talking shit about her. No, none of that. This was showing how you and I know metal artists are good people. I mean, I can't even mention to you
The
a
welding
metal
community,
artist that I
the
hate.
steel
I really,
trades community is awesome.
exactly, the whole industry as a whole. So come on, really? And they truly, like all 7 of these artists, they truly showed what and how, crafts and arts and trades people are, because plenty of those people on the show are trades people. I mean, there are some real welders out of that bunch, and then others a little more like me, like more intuitive, more kind of
Artsy.
showing ourselves how to weld. But yeah, I guess that's a word for it, artsy. But oh, Max, I just can't tell you like that unabashed love that I have for these people and metal arts in general. It's just I want to be surrounded by it all the time. I'm constantly looking at metal and new metal. Oh man, it's one of those things that it feeds me, man. It feeds that hunger that I have. And one of the biggest missions in my life is to keep promoting metal art, and welded art in general. And dude, we were able to do this on Netflix. I mean, come on. I mean, it was the best stage to truly show what metal art is, because man, it's usually sculpture is all about the marble and all about the bronze and this and that, and to show how somebody makes something metallic out of nothing, right? There's nothing there in front of you, and then after a day, holy shit, you start seeing like these shapes starting to form, and then after a couple of days, whoa, those spaces are starting to fill up, and after a week, whoa, that actually looks like something that it's we've kind of lost that, Max, in the past century. We've lost that where the artist actually works. We've kind of lost it, where you have a whole bunch of conceptual bullshit where you have the canvas with the red dot painted in the middle, and it's selling for millions and of dollars. All that conceptual bullshit. I think we're coming back around. I think we're that revolution, that circle of life thing. We're coming back around, where working artists we're gonna get our day, man. The guys who really put the work, not that like, oh, I'm just gonna talk my art up, where my art isn't that great, where it's just like Duchamp in the early century. The toilet, right? He put like a toilet, and that was his artwork. I don't know, man.
I think the media, I think what the media does is that for the last 50 years, Hollywood made artists look like these lazy, entitled people that would make one art piece a year and make $3 million. And that's not the reality. Most of the artists I know are out there grinding their ass, making a pile of art a year. Most of it doesn't sell. What does sell barely pays the bills, and they're doing it because they love it.
Hustling, man, hustling big time. And I truly think that this show is gonna highlight that what we do is hard, and when we charge you, it's because we're working hard, and the hours and the craftsmanship and the details. This show is gonna absolutely display that to the world, and I'm so honored to have been a part of the show. And oh man, wow, we're just hoping for more seasons. We're gonna get them. We're gonna get them, no doubt.
All right, so I want to ask you, how did you get that call? Like, I mean, were you just sitting on your couch and all of a sudden ring Netflix? Like what was the process to you being a judge for an art competition with steel? Like, I can't imagine that's a normal phone call.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it's great because it's all social media. It's all Google searches. It's all like metal art, welded art, and and my stuff kept showing up, and one of the producers was like, "What the hell? You know, this is all welded together. There's like." They just started searching and looking, and I'm pretty lucky, or I don't know, maybe I'm being too modest, but my stuff is pretty out there in
Popular. Yeah.
in on the internet. And so they did that search, and you know, they saw what I could do, but they didn't know if I could talk it up. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I guess I was able to talk it up with them.
You know,
And, you know,
we interviewed Ivan during FabTech, and Ivan was like, dude, I was sitting on my couch thinking about motorcycles, and then Netflix calls, like totally out of the blue. Like,
yes, yes, I was just like Ivan, where he told me, he's like, dude, I didn't believe him. I'm like, man, you think I believed him? You think that first DM or that email? Hell no. And yeah, it just we kept doing all these tests, me and Stephanie, and there was other candidates, but the chemistry between Stephanie and I, they all said it. Like, all the producers were like, man, you guys are like brother and sister. You know, you're not always loving each other, but you're not always fighting with each other. You're actual brother and sister, and we need you guys to show this to the camera. So it was just just one of those things that you just kind of you're not expecting in life to have happen to you, but yeah, it's been great.
you got to be all
really
over it when an opportunity like that does pop up. You can't say no. That's for sure.
Dude, no, hell no, can't do it, man.
All right, so now this creates a whole nother bubble, right? Like, I mean, so like you got this path that you've kind of been going, and then all of a sudden, like, there's this, I would say this is a high point. You know, you're like hosting a show on Netflix. Definitely, I would consider this a high point in a career. You know, what's next? Is this, you're talking about more seasons on Netflix? Are you looking to do more TV? Are you looking to invest more into your shop? Like, I mean, you kind of run almost like a commercial art, company where you guys do commissions, lots of commissions, and sell, right? So,
Yeah.
what's next for David now? Like, what's the plan now?
Well, the TV stuff, I'm always down for it. You know, the first season, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a nervous wreck, right? I'm not used to being in front of cameras. I'm a little private, and you and I talking, I'll tell you whatever you want. But when there's like more than 5 or 6 people, that starts to kind of creep up on me, right? And I'm like, whoa. And so the show, it was. We did what we do, and we showed like all the things that I'd mentioned, but it was nerve wracking. So if I do end up doing more TV, and it's just gonna get easier. It's gonna get better. I'm not gonna have those knots in my stomach. I'm not gonna be freaking out. If I do end up doing TV, it'll definitely I'll definitely do it, but it's not like my focus in life. It's not the first thing that I want to do, but I'll keep doing it. And it's my artwork is first. I have to say, my family and my wife. No, my wife and my family.
Yeah, man, you're done. You screwed that up, man. You screwed it up.
So my wife, my family, and then my art, the classes, promoting, and the TV is part of the promoting. So if it helps me keep doing the other things, and if it helps me not getting in trouble with my wife because of money, I'm down for it, right? And if I can get do more welded art workshops, and if I can sell more, it's all good. It really is all good. But yeah, man, it's really strange. It is extremely surreal what I'm going through. I'm not used to doing these podcasts either, and this is something completely. By the way, Max, I had to go to like to lose all those nerves. I had to go to like experts and shit. Like I had to work at it, man.
Oh, for
Like
sure, man. For
people,
sure.
yeah, and, you know, I had to do certain therapies and you know, try to be more comfortable with myself. It was not easy. I really had to work at even being able to do this. I should be right now. I should be a nervous wreck. Like 2 years ago, Max, there was no way, man, I could have done this interview with you. There was no way. I mean, I would have, if you would have invited me. My grandmother died. Sorry. You know, I would have come up with any freaking excuse, but it's, you know, this whole thing, it's kind of helped me open up a little more. And you know, it's like I said, you never stop learning in life. You know, I'm 45 and now I'm learning how to be more open. I can't believe it. I mean,
Well, and there's a
I
window,
guess you
and
can't.
there's a limit too, right? Like I do a lot of public stuff, right? It's kind of part of my job now, and I have been an anxious person my whole life, and so I have gone to shrinks. I do counseling. I have done all that stuff
Mhm.
because I've been anxious. I was that kid who was like 4 years old and couldn't stop running in circles. Like I have this like energy in my brain that I have trouble getting out.
Wow.
Doing what I do now,
Hyperactive.
people are always like, "Wow, you're so calm, you're so cool. You do these interviews and you travel and all stuff." It's like, that takes work. It's not like I just wake up and do it. I have to like prep myself. There's days where it's down, where I'm not feeling good. There's definitely days that I'm like, okay, I gotta back up because I've hit a limit. You kind of push yourself too hard.
Right. Yeah, man, that's great. And yeah, it's just I'm just kind of living. It really hasn't hit me yet. You know, it really hasn't. Like, you know, I'm getting. Oh man, we've gotten so many emails and DMs and, you know, people wanting sculptures and you know, have people wanting to invite me to show welders how to do metal
Mhm.
art, and, you know, all these opportunities. And what I told my wife, and she said, David, I'm really proud of you for what you said just now. And I said, you know what, babe, I am never ever gonna say no to freaking anything. I mean, if
Mhm.
I have the opportunity to travel and, you know, give a workshop somewhere, I'll figure out a way. If I have the opportunity to do a podcast with somebody who I admire and somebody who I really like talking to, I'm gonna do it. I mean, I just don't want to live that life of finding excuses for not doing stuff. And man, it just it's one of the most important things. And my wife was like, wow, David, because, you know, my wife knows me and she has history with me, so she knows I've done like,
Mhm.
no, I don't want to do that interview because whatever. Oh no, you know, I don't want to go on that because I look chubby, you know, whatever. I mean, it's that picture with that. No, no,
I
I'm
got pa-
five
I got
kilos over.
past I got past worrying about how chubby I look about 20 pounds ago. But I just figured that I always look good from the waist up, so I try to take those shots.
Yeah. I hear that. Oh, then the typical, right? Like you're taking a picture of somebody, and then all of a sudden you move them like a little in front of you, so it kind of takes away from the gut. You know what I'm talking about? Or
I
when
know, I
you're in
know.
between when you're in between two people, you kind of squish them together, and you're just your head just.
Well, at
I'm
least
sorry.
at least you like Mexicanos. You guys are generally very tall, so at least Mexicanos got this tallness. Chilenos, we're short, so like I look like that troll guy from like the Lord of the Rings. Like I'm like 5 feet tall and
Oh,
like round.
No. Oh man, that's too funny.
But you know what? I don't
Oh,
care.
by the
I
way,
don't
Max,
care.
yeah, I cannot wait till we do this in Spanish, man, because there's so many people out there. There's this huge public of Spanish speakers that we must get to, man. You know, I love doing this in English, but man, that's Spanish. We're gonna get some people, and
Well, we're,
uh,
we're
and
gonna
uh,
book it up, and like I said, I got 2 or 3 people lined up, all in Spanish. I got a doctor of metallurgy from up here in Canada, Patricio Mendez. He's from Argentina. The guy's a genius. I got him. We're gonna do a Spanish show, like a technical show. So I'm gonna try to do a kind of a whole series in Spanish.
Oh man, I can't wait for that. And felicidades, congratulations for that,
Gracias.
man. And yeah, man, yeah.
All right. Well, we're coming up here to the end of the show. We kind of did the life and times of David Madero coming up, like I said, from the eagle rising from the heat from the sands of the desert up into the sky, blocking out the sun with his success. Here we are, now we are to this day where you are comfortable in your skin, doing the podcast, doing the shows, the work of not just you but your family, your lineage coming together, representing itself, and like you said, representing your culture and also your upbringing. Now, if you were, and I'm gonna ask you this question to kind of wrap up the show, if you were to run into 18-year-old David right now, right before he left home to go adventure on his own, and you're 45, you travel back in time, and you sit in front of yourself and you say, Mira, I want to talk to you, what would you say to him? What would be your advice to yourself?
I know
Going,
exactly.
yeah.
I know exactly what I would tell myself. I would say, David, you have to learn how to forgive much faster, much faster. Not forgiving is probably the biggest mistake I've ever done in my life, and it's something that I will try to never do. And just say, hey, listen, man, I would shake, grab me by the shirt and just shake me and say, you have to forgive quickly, mofo. That's what I would do, man. That's what I would
and you
definitely.
and you know what, I love that, because I struggle with that to this day. I struggle with that. um People can be nice to me and I'll kind of almost forget the people that are nice, but when people are mean to me, I'll remember that forever, and that's not healthy. That's not healthy. I should be remembering the people that are good, not the people that are bad. And who's bad at the end of the day? Who am I to say what's bad? Shit happens, right? But also, I would add, forgive yourself. Don't don't
Oh,
hold don't
crap. Yes.
hold on to things that you feel you did wrong. Don't hold on to things that you may see as a mistake, because you know what? Number one, if you can't forgive yourself, how the hell are you going to forgive anybody else?
Oh, wow, man. Man, you just took my stuff to another level. That is great, man. Yes. Yes. I'm telling you, man, next time I go around selling sculptures to clients, I'm gonna bring you along with me, man.
Do it, man. Do it. I love it. And you know what? We were just talking about FabTech Mexico. Hey, man, Monterrey.
Mm, no doubt. Monterrey is
Maybe.
about 3 hours from the city. And I know for a fact I'm going. Hopefully you're going, and,
I
and
hope
some
so.
other people on the show are going. So that's going to be a great, great time. And yes or no, Max? Come on. Did you meet anybody pretentious from the show? Did you meet anybody where they're like, oh, dude, what an asshole, or what a
No, we,
bitch,
we
or
interviewed we interviewed
okay.
Ray, we interviewed Ivan. We got
Uh-huh.
I think we're gonna pretty much get through the whole staff. I didn't get to meet Stephanie till like the last day, and I was kind of a little bit shy meeting her because she's kind of famous, and she works for AWS. I work for CWB. We're kind of like a little bit competitors on the market. But you know what? Once we
Uh-huh.
sat down at the table, it was fantastic, and I would love to, like, I mean, we were talking about punk music so she likes punk music. I like punk
Yes.
music, and she's like, not too many people like punk music. I'm like, who doesn't like punk music? Come on, like.
Oh man, she's the real deal.
Yeah.
I love Steph.
So
And,
I haven't met pretentious people, and the only haters, and I'll be honest with you because I'm not gonna lie to my listeners, there is haters in the industry, but the only haters out there are people at the bottom that are going nowhere, because people that succeed, people that are on the up and up, people that are trying to do good in the world, they help each other. They prop each other up. You know, you don't build a ladder going down. You only build ladders going up, right? So that's just the way
exactly.
it is.
And speaking of forgiving yourself, those people, please just forgive yourselves and just get on with life.
Mm-hmm.
Those,
All right, man. Well, it's
those
been
two, the exact people.
yeah, it's been a fantastic having you on the show. You know, this has been a great experience, and we will book up the Spanish show so people make sure you stay tuned. And
Yes,
man,
please.
we will have to connect, and we will have to do
Yeah,
something
man.
together, man. We'll have to circle back.
Yeah, I would love to, man. Like, like I said, this is like therapy, man. So if we can do this once a week, I'll be good, man. I'll be
Well,
psychologically correctly good to go.
you have no idea how many people I have. I have a schedule. I'll give you my calendar. I think you have it now. People, friends,
Yeah, yeah.
industry. I have people just book in just to chat. I'm not even kidding you. I've been in this game like almost 30 years, and I have people come in and just say, I just want a half an hour of your time just to chat, man. And are one of the people that has my calendar now. Book yourself in whenever you want, brother.
Yeah, hermano. No. Max, un fuertísimo abrazo. Hugs, man. I love you to death, brother. And we'll definitely keep doing this kind of stuff, and we'll do stuff together, physically together. We'll do, we'll keep promoting what we love in life, man. And I love that about you, and I love what you're all about. And keep doing it, man. Keep doing it.
Well, I ain't stopping now, right? So all right, man. Well, to all the listeners, thank you for tuning in and for making the show a success. And, thank you to all the people I met at FabTech. You guys were an awesome crowd. I'm going to work my way through all the guests and all the people. I got so many contacts from there. I'm going to get them on the show, and make sure you guys keep sharing this up. And also, I'm going to say this, support the other podcasts, support Arc Junkies. I met an awesome young guy out there. He's doing one called Welding Business Owners Podcast, which is to help young people start businesses. I think that's an awesome idea. Follow him up too. There's room for all of us on this stage. No one's got to get kicked off. We can all hold up each other. So, thank you, David. Until next time, and to all the listeners, thank you very much.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to the CWB Association Welding Podcast with Max Ceron. If you enjoyed what you heard today, rate our podcast and visit us at cwbassociation.org to learn more. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions or suggestions on what you'd like to learn about in the future. Produced by the CWB Group and presented by Max Ceron. This podcast serves to educate and connect the welding community. Please subscribe, and thank you for listening.